Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming to you from right here in my little converted garage. I am, of course, your host, John Campea. I'm joined, of course, by writer, director, producer, the fabulous Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett. Robert, how you doing today, sir?
Fabulous. Well, John, thank you.
Also, of course, joining us from his studio, which is looking really, really good, our technical producer, Jonathan Voico.
Hey, everybody. Happy to be here.
And we've got a special guest today. Just like yesterday, we had our friend Brian Tong on, who I met at a premiere. And much like meeting Brian Tong, I was at another premiere a while ago. And this guy came up to introduce himself, and I instantly recognized him. And then we were in Dallas just a couple of months ago doing one of our movie meetups, and this individual showed up again. And ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited that we have joining us here on this show the incredible Chris Parker. You might also know him as 3C Films. Chris, how you doing, man?
Hey, John, this is a huge honor and a full circle moment for me, man. I was someone watching for years in the little section sending super chats, and now I'm on the show. This is a big moment for me. Thank you for having me.
We've had you on before. You and I did that quick 5-minute thing we were talking about the other stuff.
Never live. That was
never live.
Yeah.
And today we got you live. It's good to have you here, man. We're really excited. And we are, of course, most importantly, excited to have you guys joining us today. Thanks so much for taking time out of your day to be a part of this little show. And here's how the show's going to go. We're going to start off by talking about a number of predetermined topics we have lined up for you guys, and we got a bunch of them. And then normally we would go and take your live comments and questions. However, I am leaving to go play in the World Series of Poker again as soon as the show's over, so we won't be taking live questions today, but don't worry, the live questions will return. All right, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about here, and we need to start with something that just broke. Breaking news. You guys, of course, know that we've got the brand new Shrek is coming. But if you guys remember, a little while ago, Eddie Murphy kind of made an off-the-hand comment about not only maybe a Shrek 5 coming, which he kind of spoiled, but he also implied there might also be a Donkey movie coming. Well, implied no more, as the Hollywood Reporter has now reported that Donkey, the Eddie Murphy Shrek origin story, is now officially set 2 years from now in the summer of 2028. The subtitle here is "The actor has voiced the character since the original Shrek hit theaters." Hold on to your asses for a second. 25 years ago in 2001.
Bruh.
I know. The story goes on to say this. Eddie Murphy's beloved Donkey from Shrek franchise is getting his own adventure, presumably involving waffles. Universal Pictures announced Thursday that the studio is set to release Donkey theatrically on June 30th in 2028. Murphy will return for the DreamWorks animation feature to voice the character that he has played since the original Shrek hit theaters in 2001. All right, now, it doesn't say so here, but I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that Mike Myers will probably still do the voice of Shrek, like in kind of, not in a flash forward sense, but I think the movie, my guess would be, is probably going to start like with Shrek and Donkey sitting around chatting, and Donkey deciding, "Hey, Shrek, have I ever told you the story?" And then tells him like the origin story, stuff like that, because I think if you're going to do Donkey, I think you're going to want to have Shrek's voice in there. Now, I am not one for prequels. There have been exceptions. There are exceptions to some prequels I really like, but generally speaking, I don't get excited about prequels. I'm not going to lie to you though. Guys, I'll take all the Shrek universe I can get. I love the Shrek universe. I mean, some of the Shrek projects have been better than others. Like, I still think Shrek 2 is the crown jewel of it, but this recent Puss in Boots movie was also fantastic. Also, by the way, directed by the same guys who are directing Forgotten Island that we were talking about the other day. So I'm absolutely down for this. I'm excited to hear about it. Rob, You hear about this. It's now official. Eddie Murphy coming back to do a donkey solo movie. Good idea, bad idea? Do you think people are interested in it
Donkey.
25 years later? What do you think?
It's a good idea. Donkey is a good. No, I don't even know what that accent was.
What the hell
Certainly
was
not
that? That was like
Shrek.
a Russian Scotsman?
Yeah.
You know, I
This
who
is like
knows?
Phantom Menace.
I can't always be on my game, John, on the show. You just
Meat
never know what's
donkey.
rolling your way. No, look, who doesn't like? Look, Eddie Murphy, since the early '80s, has been one of the most gifted comedians. I mean, talk about the Mount Rushmore of modern comics.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, following up on Richard Pryor, it's probably Eddie Murphy, you know, and watching. I mean, how many times did I watch Delirious and Raw? 100 million, you know, and it was so great to see. You know, Eddie Murphy kind of went away for a while, and then he came back, and Dolomite Is My Name I loved,
Love that.
you know, and seeing him just come back and becoming a pop culture presence again. Give me a donkey movie, I'm in. And because you know that they would probably look, they'll have a script, but
Oh, sure.
like, I mean, I don't think that Eddie Murphy's a little different than Robin Williams, because who's just unhinged, you know, but he was unhinged, and God bless him for it. But I think that Eddie Murphy doing a donkey movie, come on, sign me up. I'll buy a ticket a year in advance. You give that to me in 70 millimeter IMAX, cha-ching, I'm in.
Chris, what about you? You hear about this? I mean, look, we don't even have Shrek 5 yet. Are they being a little bit premature with doing a donkey solo film, or are they in pretty safe hands? What do you think?
I think they're in safe hands, even if Shrek 5 doesn't turn out as awesome as we'd like. I mean, after Puss in Boots, it only makes sense that you give Donkey a shot. I mean, some would argue he's the bigger star, and I'm just so shocked how good those Puss in Boots movies are. I never expected to like them as much as I did. I totally agree with you about how they'll probably play out the story. I see it more of him telling his mutant kids just the story of how he came to be and all that. I think that'd be very fun to watch. To me, though, I am curious, though, because it's only a year after Shrek 5. Like, this is literally June 30th, Shrek 5, 2027. And then a year later, you're right, there is going to be some diminishing returns if, like, a lot of people don't like the new designs and all the way they're headed in. But I think safe to say, as long as it's funny and Eddie Murphy behind it, it'll be good.
All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think about this? It is now official. The little cat that Eddie Murphy let out of the bag about a year and a half ago. There is a solo donkey movie coming 1 year after Shrek 5. Do you think they're being a little bit premature, or are you like me where it's like, just give me all the Shrek you can? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? You know, all of us have a number of these little treasure films that we absolutely love that not necessarily everybody knows about. One of those films for me, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know about this one, was Stephen Chow's Shaolin Soccer. Now, he had a slightly more popular movie that more people know called Kung Fu Hustle, and that was great. I don't even think it's close, though. I think Shaolin Soccer was his absolute best film. And you know what? For coming out in 2001, 25 years ago, the same year Shrek came out, and the budget of the film, the visual effects in that movie were shockingly good. Like with how they handled the ball. And basically it's this soccer team that decides to incorporate Shaolin Kung Fu into their soccer. And hilarity, it's hilarious. It's exciting. The martial arts action is bonkers, and off the top, everything you'd expect from it being from the same guy who did Kung Fu Hustle. Well, anyway, we heard a while ago that Stephen Chow was developing another Shaolin Soccer. And now, coming to us from the Hollywood Reporter, we're going to get to see it all over the world, because the Hollywood Reporter is now saying that Stephen Chow's Shaolin Soccer spinoff, Kung Fu Soccer, lands worldwide distribution rights deal. It's going to be coming everywhere. Encore Films has acquired the worldwide distribution rights outside of mainland China to Kung Fu Soccer, Stephen Chow's first film as a director in 7 years, and the long-awaited spinoff to his beloved martial arts meets football, also known as soccer, hit Shaolin Soccer from 2001. It basically goes on to this. Chow wrote and directed Kung Fu Soccer, covered for the past 2 years under its announced title Shaolin Women's Soccer, but does not appear in it, having stepped back from acting after 2008's CJ7. The film recast Shaolin Soccer's premise around an all-female squad, the underdog Imai team, who integrate martial arts into their game on an improbable run at a championship. So again, very, very similar to the initial concept of Shaolin Soccer. But you know what? That's fine, because every Kung Fu movie has basically all followed the same plot anyway. Young, super talented martial artist with a master. Master gets murdered. A young student now is on a revenge path to avenge the death of his master. If I asked you to name that movie, you could probably drop about 75 titles. So there's that. By the way, the best of which is a little movie called Shaolin versus Llama. If you have not seen Shaolin versus Llama, look it up. It's one of the greatest and most hilarious old style Kung Fu movies I've ever seen. It's amazing. Anyway, that aside, I have been waiting for Stephen Chow to come back and doing something like this. And the fact that we didn't get a lot more of him, particularly after Kung Fu Hustle, which I don't know if maybe for the North American audience, the novelty wore off or something along those lines. But I think this guy is a genius wit. Like, that's what really stood out to me most about Stephen Chow. He has a genius wit about him. His comedy is sometimes like really big and bold, over the top, like a Seth Rogen, but sometimes is also a very subtle, that you got to pay attention to catch the joke, kind of humor. He's really a brilliant humorist, and we think of him more in terms of martial arts, understandably. But I have been waiting for a follow-up to Shaolin Soccer forever. So I personally can't wait for this. Chris, I don't know if you and I have never talked about this. I don't know if you ever had the privilege of watching the original Shaolin Soccer. If so, what did you think about it? And what do you think them finally doing a follow-up to this?
I am cultured. I have seen it.
I am cultured.
That was one of those VHSs that was just constantly being put in when I was younger. I loved Kung Fu Hustle a lot. And I did check out Shaolin Soccer. Me not being big of a sports guy, though, it wasn't as much of a repeat, but it was a very entertaining, fun sports movie. And you're exactly right. His wit and humor in mixing in the creativeness that he does with the Kung Fu is so great. And it has been missed. Haven't really seen anything like that. My only I guess worries, or just a wonder how it'll play out. You know, we just had an awesome martial arts movie, The Furious. I'm not sure if you guys got around to see that, but it's kind of, making a whimper. It just kind of came and went. The article mentions that it really wants to ride the waves of the World Cup going on right now. And so they're trying to find a way to get this quickly out there. And so those little things make me like, okay, is this going to, have the same view from audiences? Are we ready for something like this again? But I'm down to see it. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Rob, Chris brings up a really good point, which is I think everybody here is dying to watch this. But is there going to be commercial appeal? You just mentioned The Furious. That was so good. Mm-hmm. I was late to it, but it's pretty amazing. I mean, I wouldn't put it on the same level. Some people are telling me it was as good as The Raid. I don't think it's as good as The Raid.
No, I don't think it's as good as The Raid.
But I mean, it was really good. Nobody went to go see it. So number one, what do you think about them doing another Shaolin Soccer finally? And do you think there is going to be any kind of a commercial appeal for it?
Well, first of all, I mean, it's funny because both Shaolin Soccer and Kung Fu Hustle were movies that you had to find on. I had to find them on DVD. You're looking. The great thing was you could get them on as Hong Kong releases because they were subtitled in English, which was great. And so, to me, those are like early 2000s movies. That's how I kind of remember it. And I was a big fan. So, there is a penetration of more and more foreign films. Obviously, anime has become huge among Gen Z audiences, and people are starting to delve into Indian films more. And I think Stephen Chow, he makes the most accessible, even though his films have a bit of unreality, not as much as say Triple R did for people who,
oh my God.
I mean, for me as the viceroy of verisimilitude, it's a mindset but Stephen Chow's movies are also incredible comedies.
Mhm.
You know, they're really funny and genuinely funny. But what's funny about them too is that because they come out of a different culture, there's some humor that we haven't ever seen before.
Yeah.
And there's just a different feel to it.
Yeah.
And I love that. And so, you know, I think again, I feel that for all the craziness that's going on in the world, for all the wacky, you know, everyone thinks we're heading down the road to oblivion with AI overlords, you know, Skynet's about to rise up and smite us all. But I do think something else is going on, which is that the culture of the world, and maybe it's because I've been seeing all these foreigners talk about how great America is because of these World Cup games. Like, we love it here. It's nothing like they tell us back in Europe. That I feel that, you know, there's no better way to share culture than through entertainment, and movies are the best way to do that. And we need, you know what? Stephen Chow, now more than ever.
Yeah, Chow, now more than ever.
Yeah.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? I'm sure there's a lot of you guys out there, especially since the film was 25 years old, that maybe haven't seen Shaolin Soccer yet. I bet a bunch of you already have, though. How great is that movie? Is it too late to bring back another one? And even if they do, which they are, do you think it can have commercial appeal? I certainly hope it will. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? You know, back at CinemaCon in Las Vegas back in April, Marvel came out on stage. Kevin Feige and, you know, the Russo brothers and whatnot came out on stage, and they presented to us at CinemaCon the Avengers Doomsday trailer. Now, I said afterwards, we got to see the trailer, I fully expect they're probably going to release this online within the next 24 hours. They didn't. Then I said, well, I fully expect that they'll release this trailer within the next couple of weeks. They didn't. And I've kept expecting them to drop it, and they simply have it. Now, at this point, I'm kind of expecting them not to drop it until Comic-Con, which is coming up, and we talked about that the other day. However, some of you may have seen this. And I was first made aware of this because of our own group chat. The John Campea Show group chat we had. I think it was, I can't remember if it was you, Jonathan, or if it was Scott that dropped into the group chat this trailer for Avengers Doomsday.
That was Scott. That was Scott.
That was Scott that dropped that. That I've now seen other people posting and saying the Avengers Doomsday trailer has come out. And in case any of you have seen it, this is it here. So this is going around, and a lot of people think this is the Avengers Doomsday trailer. And I can tell you right now, it is not. This thing that's going around is not the actual Avengers Doomsday trailer. This is fake. However, as I'm sure Rob will attest to as well, as he's seen this may not be the actual Avengers Doomsday trailer. This may be an actual fake thing. However, I can tell you it is based on the actual trailer. Like, Rob, whoever made this trailer either saw the trailer or was given a almost kind of beat by beat description. I mean, there are some big indiscrepancies between this fake one and the real one for sure. But the basic structure of the trailer, this scene, then this scene, then this scene, then this scene, it's directly from a description of the trailer they probably got, including the Thor dialogue. That's kind of, you know what's the word I'm looking for? Who kind of narrates the trailer. Mm-hmm. That's 90% of the dialogue that Thor gives, although that was clearly not Chris Hemsworth's voice in this fake thing here. So, Rob, you saw this fake thing. I think it's pretty damn close, with the exception of some big liberties they took. But how close did you find this to the original one?
Well, yes. The answer is yes. There's a lot of, I mean, obviously, a lot of people wrote descriptions of those trailers, and so people are delving, and same with like spoilers from the movie itself that people are delving into and using AI to create these things. which is fine. I mean, I appreciate the enthusiasm and what people are using their creative efforts. What I don't like is people trying to pass this off as being real. I mean, why not just say this is my interpretation of what this movie might possibly look like, instead of trying to I mean, I understand, I get the impulse, I know, I mean, I'm not naive, but it's annoying. I don't like the idea that fandom is trying to hoodwink itself, you know? And I'm like, it just seems like, why do that? You know, do you get, I get it. It's an interesting interpretation of what people are going to see. And I think it's going to be, because John, I think this is a fairly new, I can't remember a movie that has garnered, now that the AI tools are the best they've ever been, now people can actually do this. And on one hand, Marvel should be excited because it's certainly engendered excitement where people are now going to sit down and spend a long time prompting these AI generated scenes to be made in the first place. So on one hand, you can look at it as engagement, I guess. But I also think it kind of diminishes what we're going to eventually get. You know, all the time and effort that's been put into these things. If we've seen variations on themes before, you know, it kind of takes away the specialness of seeing it, but not on a big screen. So I am surprised, however, it does amaze me at how good AI is actually getting.
Yeah, but now the thing you're talking about, though, about like why do people make these fake things and try to pass it? This has been around forever.
I know.
Right? Like I remember, you guys remember this one? I remember. I don't even think I was at AMC yet. I might have been at AMC, but I might have still been doing the movie blog at the time. But everybody said, "Oh, the upcoming Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice." I must have been at AMC by then. Yeah. I remember everybody started writing, John, did you hear they're splitting it in half and they're going to make it 2 movies? I'm like, what are you talking about? And then same as this, they made it look, wrong one. They made it look like it was on a screen in a screening room.
Yeah.
Right. And it had the logo on top of, that made it look like Justice League, but it was just Justice League Part 1. Enter the Night, which sounds like gay erotica. But then underneath that, they had Justice League Part 2, Dawn of Justice. And she was going on before then too. And people have always tried to pass off these things as being like real, either because they get a kick out of seeing how many people they can fool. Now, we talked about this on the show. YouTube recently started to crack down on that and get rid of it. But that's what led Rob. And Chris, I don't know if you've noticed this, that it used to be that the big telling sign, if something was fake, is if the studios went and had it taken down. Well, in the last couple of months, studios have started taking down fake stuff because the fake stuff damages their IP.
Yes.
So I'm surprised this is still up. Anyway, Chris, you saw this this fan-made CGI trailer. How believable did you find it? Did you buy into it at all? And what did you think about it?
Not believable. Lucky enough, we see this almost on the daily now, where I think we can like have that instinct to tail it. It's getting thinner and thinner every day, though. I'll tell you that. There's definitely things I see sometimes where I'm like, I don't know if that's AI or not. But I agree with you. I miss that art form. I miss when people would dedicate. You talked about that Thundercats, fan made trailer that went viral way back then.
That was so good.
And all the things that have happened over the years, or sometimes when people would just take clips from different movies of actors and then mishmash it, pretend. Yeah, like that was always kind of fun and innocent. Now this is just definitely a whole different section of deceiving, and it is damaging the brand. I think Jurassic World Rebirth had that, where they were taking down AI of things, because there's some people that just don't pay no mind and they think, oh yeah, Scarlett Johansson turns into a velociraptor in this movie or something. And it hurts the movie because they think that's something ridiculous. So it's just a matter of cracking down on this. And I'm just still surprised there's still software out there. You know, I thought we heard so much about like many companies taking down the video generated stuff because of fear of lawsuits and all this. But I guess there's always one willing to make it. It is still funny that they still try to make it look like a leak with. That's just always the look. It's from an angle. Someone always has the front row angle seat.
Yeah. And the cheers were like repeated. They just had this exact same cheers.
Yes.
Like, the same voices over and over.
That's one of the big giveaways, actually, is you can hear the
Yep.
repetitive things of the audience. Anyway, guys, question is for you. First of all, were you one of the many people who wrote to me that said, holy crap, John, the Avengers Doomsday trailer is leaked? And if so, were you taken by it for a second? Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. For the first 15 seconds of it, I kind of thought it was the one I saw at CinemaCon. Then it became obvious it wasn't. But anyway, whatever you guys think about it, jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys. With that down, let's talk about this. You know, with Supergirl coming out, you might be forgiven if you kind of forgot there was another film arriving by the name of Jackass, Best and Last.
I
Now,
love that
look,
title.
it's a great title. That is a great title. I am not the biggest Jackass fan in the world. I was never taken with the show. I wasn't all that big on the first couple of movies. But then I think for me personally, Jackass 3 came out. I think it was 3. And they just a subtle adjustment they did to their formula. And I found myself laughing my ass off almost the whole way through. I really quite enjoyed 4, and I actually am kind of excited to go see 5. Well, the reviews for Jackass Best and Last have come out, and they're in sinners territory. Because as of right now, Jackass Best and Last,
Wow.
as of this recording, is holding a 93% critic rating.
Wow.
93%. In the same realm as Christopher Nolan films, as Denis Villeneuve films, Jackass Best and Last has a 93%. Let's go over and see what some of the critics are saying. Screen Rant said they liked it. While the film can't match the heights, both metaphorical and literal, of previous entries in the series, it remains a fitting farewell for fans. Metro liked it. They said, what sets Best and Last apart from the others is the emotion. Knoxville has infamously said after each of the 5 films that he's had enough, but this one actually feels like we're waving goodbye to a beloved pioneer of slapstick comedy for good. Of course, who else would review Jackass than the Financial Times, who wrote, the purer the gag, the more helpless your laughter. Men being stuck between the legs remains the gold standard. IGN liked it. They said Best and Last functions more like a coda to the whole franchise than its own full-fledged Jackass movie. But if you love this franchise and these guys, it's a fond farewell, complete with the requisite penises, poops, and vomit along the way. NYC Movie Guru did not like it, said lazy, repetitive, and unfunny. It's unabashedly lowbrow and unafraid to be offensive, juvenile and disgusting, but without a shred of wit or imagination. The funny thing is, with almost all the Jackass stuff, I agree with almost everything he just said up until the end when he said without a shred of wit or imagination, because that's what makes it for me. To me, there's a lot of wit and imagination, but that's just me. All right. CG Magazine liked it. They said, by nature of it being half a clip show, Jackass Best and Last wasn't going to be the best of the series, but it's a fitting send-off for an all-time great comedy franchise. And it just kind of goes on from there. You know, I can't say for sure what it is about this series, at least the last couple of installments. You know what? Strike that. I think I can. I think what has made these movies for me, again, at least the last couple of ones, there's an inherent joy watching a group of friends laughing their asses off together. And I think that's the part that gets me. Like, the stunts are crazy. Like, what was it? It wasn't Francis Ngannou, but they had one where they had like a UFC fighter punch them in the groin. It was like, oh my God, like the lunacy of it. But it's also just seeing these guys, this group of friends, like laughing themselves sick with each other, at each other. That's the part of it that I think really started taking over, because any 5-year-old can make a gross video, but there's something about chemistry that these guys have. And Johnny Knoxville has proved himself to be a maestro of conducting that ridiculous symphony. And for that reason, I appreciate Jackass. And yeah, I'm kind of looking to going out and seeing it myself. I haven't watched it yet. I'm probably going to watch it. I might sneak out at one point when I'm in Vegas to go over and see it. But anyway, Chris, the new Jackass is here. The reviews are, again, we're talking 93%. We're in the Denis Villeneuve range here. What do you think about Jackass as a franchise as a whole? What do you think about these reviews we're getting here?
Much like you, John, I didn't really like grow up watching the show or anything, and the first two movies I just saw moments of, but I do remember distinctly the third one felt like a big event, maybe because they played into the 3D aspect of it all. And at the time, I was under the age where I couldn't see an R-rated movie, so it was one of the films I had to sneak into, and I felt all scared I was going to get caught and all that. And it was a fun watch. And so with this new one, it's nice to know that they do have a good farewell, goodbye. I was curious because as the lead up to the movie was coming, I was getting word that it was more of a greatest hits kind of movie where it's like some new stuff, some old stuff. And I was worried maybe, dang, how much of the movie is just replaying old stunts into the film. But I guess there's enough in there where you get a good balance. And on the critic side, because like you're saying, Denis Villeneuve numbers. I like how we're in this era where critics, or sometimes, I think a lot of the times, they're willing to meet a movie for what it is now. There'd be a time where like this is a bad movie, so it's obviously gonna get a bad score, but you understand what they are, you know what you're in for, and if they deliver on that, well then yeah, it's what you're looking for. Of course, you're still gonna have people who are not a fan of it, but I do like seeing that people are like, for what it is, it delivers that.
Yeah, like I'm always saying that, like, to me, movies are experiential events, and every movie aims to deliver a different kind of experience, and you need to be measured on how well do you deliver the experience you were aiming for. And if I don't think Jackass always accomplishes that, but when they do, they really do. Rob, how have you felt about Jackass as a series? What do you think about these reviews we're getting for it? I don't know. What are your thoughts right now?
I gotta admit, I sometimes feel bad about how much I've enjoyed some of these Jackass movies.
I never feel bad.
I mean, I'm thinking, look, there are people in life, like, to me, there's two different kinds of people. There are Three Stooges people and there are Marx Brothers people. I was a Marx Brothers kid. The Three Stooges, I'm like, come on. These well, I can't, but I don't know, man. I was never that much of a Three Stooges guy, but these are Three Stooges guy movies.
They really are.
Yeah. And I'm embarrassed to admit I'm not immune to the charms of the Jackass franchise. and so look, and it's amazing, John, how it's I mean, didn't it started on MTV, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you're talking about a show that who would have thought that this would have been a theatrically released property? I mean, cooler heads knew. I didn't know. I would never have made the money they've made on this because I never would have greenlit it because I just don't have that vision being a Marx Brothers guy. But you can't deny success. And the fact that this has continued to go on, you got to give it up. And the fact that it's pulling 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm astonished and I'm fearful for the future. But at the same time, I have to sit there and go, good for them.
Yeah.
Why? Again, if people derive pleasure from this, who am I to poo-poo what they like? And I have to say, I'm going to see this movie.
Well, let me ask each of you guys
unapologetically.
This. I'll start off. As you look back at the Jackass stuff, what has been your favorite bit that they did? I'll tell you mine. I don't know why. I have no idea why, because on paper, this isn't even funny, but it's the one where two are really close. One is the one where Johnny Knoxville got on the rocket that fired him into the lake.
Oh, dude.
I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of my thing with heights or whatever, but that one will always stick with me. And then the other one is also a Johnny Knoxville one where he got in the cage with the bull. That's a huge one to me. Chris, do you have a favorite one or one that sticks out to you?
The one that's like stuck in my, because there's funny ones and then there's ones that just leave an impact. I remember one that I always think back to is there was just one where they went around getting each other paper cuts in like the section of their finger, and they even did it like on their feet too. And I'm just like, that's one where it's like it's a small thing, but it really is like, oh, this is awful to watch.
Rob, do you got one that stands out in your memory?
Uh, uh, didn't they have something like a poo cocktail?
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Oh, the platter, the poo poo platter, I think it was, or something
Yeah,
like that.
I mean, what was that?
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what that reminds me of? There's another one that I was just like, as they're setting it up, I'm like, no, they're not going to do it. Like, they're not going to do this. This thing, no, they're not. And then they do it. It's
So
the one where
gross.
they put Steve-O in the porta potty
Oh.
and then slingshot it up and down.
I think
I'm
they
like,
revisit it.
Yeah.
oh, did they? Did they
Do
go
it
back and do
again.
that one again?
Yeah.
They do it again.
Oh, that one to me was one that like I will live in my nightmares forever. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Jackass has a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, which is kind of stunning. Are you planning on going to see it? If so, jump down to the comments too and let us know, do you have a favorite bit that they've done in the past? Whatever you guys think, jump on down there in the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, it's time for us to play ourselves a little game of overreaction. The way overreaction works is really quite simple. We jumped on the YouTube channel in the community tab a little bit earlier, and we asked you guys to send us your hottest of hot takes. And then Rob, Chris, and I will adjudicate whether or not we think your hot take is an overreaction or not. Jonathan's got a bunch of them pulled out right now. So Jonathan, what do we got up first?
All right. As per usual, we're going to start with you, Rob. We hear from Sprang It. Is this an overreaction? Toy Story 5 becomes the #1 animated movie at the box office this year.
Well, I don't think that's an overreaction at all, especially, judging on where the box office is already. It's I don't think the word juggernaut is hyperbole. It could very well be. I think that we have to go back to Zootopia 2 is still considered this year, right?
Yep.
That's 1.8 billion.
1.8 billion.
But I don't think that it's out of the realm of possibility that Toy Story could achieve that goal. So I don't think it's an overreaction.
You know what? Everything you just said, Rob, completely makes sense. But I'm going to lean a little bit the other way. I'm going to call it an overreaction. We have seen a lot of films. I mean, not tons of films have opened to $160 million, but there have been movies that have opened to $160 million and not gotten to 1.8 billion. Like, that is a ridiculously big number. Yeah. So I don't know. Look, if we revisit this question again in 3 weeks, maybe then at that point, once we see what kind of legs Toy Story have. But for now, I'm going to say 1.8 might be a little bit outside the range. So I'm going to very mildly call it an overreaction. Chris, what about you?
I was about to say, no, it's not an overreaction. I think you're right. But if we're counting Zootopia, I heard that number 1.8 and I completely changed my tune to you too. Cause I was like, that is. And I think 4 made 1.4 billion, Toy Story 4. Not to say it couldn't hit it, but I do think there's a lot of competition headed up next that, I don't know if there's enough pie being shared around for it to reach those. So I'm gonna say I didn't even know how the right phrasing would go, but I agree with what John said.
Overreaction.
Overreaction, yes.
You know what, Jonathan, can you look up for us? Like, I see some people in live chat saying Zootopia was actually a 2025 film.
Yeah, it was November.
Okay.
It was Thanksgiving.
It was Thanksgiving, so it was 2025.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm terrible at movie dates. I'm terrible at movie dates. So what was the question again? The question was, becomes the #1 animated movie at the box office this year. Well, if that's the case, then now we're pitting it against Minions. Well, and Mario Brothers joined the $1 billion club. Oh, then yeah, in that case, the bar is much lower. Then I changed my answer to absolute not an overreaction. No, it is not an overreaction. It will be the #1.
I was shocked. I was like, did Zootopia come out in February or something?
Yeah, my internal calendar is so bad. So there's that. All right, Jonathan, what do we got up next?
All right, next up, we're gonna stick with you, John. Here, is this an overreaction? We're gonna hear from Super Bear. David Corn Sweat as Superman is the best new superhero casting of this decade.
Okay, when you pull out the D word, decade.
Pull out the D word.
when you pull out the decade where, like, you've got to really pause. But considering Ryan Reynolds was 10 years ago coming out as Deadpool, then I will go, yes, he absolutely is. Like, listen, my boy Henry right here, he is still my favorite Superman. Henry is still my favorite Superman. That being said, David Cornsweet is perfect for this iteration of Superman. And if I wasn't already completely on board and convinced of that, Supergirl, which we will talk about a little bit later, did nothing but triple down for me that he's absolutely a perfect Superman. I mean, he wouldn't have been the perfect Henry Superman, but that was a different kind of Superman. For the more comic book accurate, if you want to go for Superman that they've been trying to do with this, I think he is absolutely fantastic. There have been some great castings in comic book roles in the last 10 years. But I honestly think it is not an overreaction to say David Cornsweet is the best one of the bunch. Chris, what do you say? David Cornsweet's the best new casting for a superhero character in the last 10 years, overreaction or not?
If we are going to the last 10 years, then you also have to include Tom Holland's Spider-Man, because
Yep.
2017, Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther, that was another one. And then, as much as I love him, I think there's still more to be developed, but Robert Pattinson's Batman. Those are the three ones of the deck that I was like, okay, up against, and Deadpool, as you mentioned, says 2016. But, you know, it's like you said, I'm watching Supergirl, and every time David Cornsweet is on screen, just doing what he does, as Clark Kent or Superman, it's just such a big smile. I think they nailed that down. I don't think it's an overreaction.
Rob, what about you?
You know,
because Chris brought up some really good names.
Yeah, I mean, I
too.
can't. After hearing all that, Cornsweet is great, but you know what? I would say that I found Chadwick Boseman's work as Black Panther more ultimately satisfying because the movies he was in, both in Civil War and Black Panther, and I think Tom Holland, it just has had more time. We've seen how perfect he is. You know, you can't tell me that Cornsweet is more perfect than Tom Holland, because I would say you're wrong.
I would say he is. That's why I said it's not an overreaction.
Big Spider-Man fan.
Oh, Holland's great. And you're not wrong, Rob. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, how good Holland is, how obviously how immortal Chadwick
I would
Boseman
say
is.
this. I don't think, I think these are people that are equal. I think they're all neck and neck. It's a horse race.
It really is, yeah.
So I'm supposed to say that Cornsweet is. I think it's an overreaction to say he's
okay,
the
fair
best.
enough.
Okay,
because there's too many good people that also are deserving.
Right. All right, Jonathan, back over to you. What's next?
All right. Well, sticking with Rob here, is this an overreaction when we hear from Mr. No Eyebrows? Tom Cruise will win his first acting Oscar for Digger.
Well, okay. That's hard to say because they did show us the Bonkers trailer at CinemaCon, and I thought that he was amazing in it. But I will say this, there is a novelty quality to what he's doing that I can't tell. I'd have to see the whole movie, but I do think that there's a danger that if they made an entire Les Grossman movie and Tom Cruise played Les Grossman the way he played it in Tropic Thunder for the whole movie, I would definitely say there's a possibility he could definitely win it.
I'd give it to him right now. I would just mail it to him right now.
Yeah, yeah. This, though, the jury's still out for me because of its Doctor Strange Lovian weirdness. I mean, this is a tightrope. This is a big, big, big swing. And Alejandro, Inarritu, he's said it was a big swing, and I think big swings can come with big danger.
Sure.
I mean, I wouldn't want this movie to be like North or The Toy or something like that. There's digging back into the past, but I think there's potential for an acting award for this one.
But you're calling it an overreaction.
I think it's an overreaction.
All right. I think there is a difference between being premature, because it's premature to crown Tom Cruise with an Oscar at this point. Obviously, premature, yes. But I don't think it's an overreaction. And I'll tell you why, because that that stuff they showed us at CinemaCon, and it wasn't just a trailer. It was like a good 5-minute thing they showed us. And Tom Cruise showed us stuff that I haven't, even as Les Grossman, I haven't seen him do or be before. And here's the key part, Rob, you brought up Inarritu, right? You've now got Tom Cruise being directed by one of the best living directors today in a role like that. I don't think it's now, is it a lock? Is it a guarantee? Do you put money on it? No, but to say that you think he's going to get the Academy Award this year for this role, at this point, premature, yes, but I'm going to say it's not an overreaction. Anyway, Chris, what do you think about this?
Yeah, you definitely have more information than me because of the CinemaCon stuff. So from my perspective on just seeing what the scene and maybe what the viewer who asked the question as well, I am going to say overreaction just because I don't have enough to go off of. You're right. All the ingredients and all the right pieces are there for this to be an obvious, Oscar contender. And I do think he's going to be an awesome performance from the way they're hyping it. I mean, just that trailer screams, oh, this is going to be like a legendary role for Tom Cruise. So I'm excited for it, but as of right now, just with the limited that I have, I'm going to have to say overreaction.
You know, one thing that none of us have kind of mentioned, and Rob got real dark. One of the things that has your power
somebody
gone
borrowed
out?
my car and plugged the power of the car in to recharge it, thinking they were doing the right thing. And
moody, Rob.
It's like you're so goth.
It was not. That was not the right thing to do. But the intention was good.
Okay, so but there is one aspect none of us touched on, which is the competition. Timothée Chalamet is going to be a major player this year with Dune 3. Obviously, we're going to have Matt Damon in The Odyssey. I think Ryan Gosling's going to be a contender for Project Hail Mary. So we didn't take into account the competition, which is why I called it a little bit premature, but I'm still going to stick with it being not an overreaction. All right, Jonathan, what do we got up next?
Well, yes. It's pretty trippy. We'll start with you, Chris, on this one. Is this an overreaction? We're going to hear from William Crook. Disney will have the top 5 grossing movies of the year.
Ooh.
When I got the show notes from you, John, I went and looked at the list of what we got. So we definitely have Devil Wears Prada, I think currently is in the top 5. Devil Wears Prada 2, and if we're counting that as a Disney movie, if it's 20th Century Studio. But then we have Doomsday. We're having Toy Story 5. So that's a 3 already.
Spider-Man.
Are we counting Spider-Man?
Oh, no, you're right. That's a Sony film. You're right.
Okay. If we did count Spider-Man, I would say it's right on the money. But there is that third, the fourth. I just can't seem to fill in that 5th spot. And so for me with that, because I don't know what other movie that they have coming up that could reach, like Moana probably will. So that's like 4 for sure. But it's that final 5th slot where I don't see in their slate anything that could beat out maybe what the rest is happening this year. So I'm going to say overreaction.
Rob doing his best Batman now.
Yeah.
That's actually very well done. Okay, so gosh, look, you're right. You pointed out Doomsday, obviously Toy Story 5, there's much, but that's to say that it's going to have all top 5 spots means you're saying that you don't think The Odyssey is going to get in the top 5. Is saying you don't think not Project Hail Mary, Minions and Monsters is going to get in the top 5. That you don't think Dune 3 can get in the top 5. So, I mean, it's just a lot that has to be kept out of there. And I was thinking, even when I was thinking in my head about Spider-Man Brand New Day, and you're right, Chris, that's a Sony film. So that gets taken out. But even when I was considering it, I thought, yeah, I could see it getting 4 with Doomsday, Spider-Man, Toy Story, maybe one other one. But yeah, I'm going to say it's definitely going to have the top a couple of spots in the top 5, but it's an overreaction to think it's going to have all 5 spots. Rob, what about you?
I concur. I mean, there's too much.
Love this Rob. So much.
Guilty. You will bow down before me, Jor-El. Both you, and then one day your heirs. No, I think it is an overreaction for the very reasons you stated. I mean, you've got the Odyssey is definitely, it's a contender. You can't take away from the fact that that's $1 billion contender. So it is I think it's an overreaction. I mean, I do. And like you pointed out, Minions is going to be huge.
Minions is going to be really big.
Huge. And although it would kind of be neat to see Disney take the top,
to see what?
To see them, get all those movies.
All the top 5 spots.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's not like those movies don't deserve it.
Yeah. All right, Jonathan. I think we got one more. What's our last one?
Yes, we do. Okay. We'll stick with Rob because this is fun. Rob, is this an overreaction? Is this an overreaction? We're going to hear from Boone Lee Tan. Project Hail Mary does not get a Oscar nomination for Best Picture.
That's a no. No, I think it will. It's remember they have 10 movies, and I think Project Hail Mary will definitely get a Best Picture nomination. I really do.
Yeah, this is the wildest overreaction of the day. Listen, I'll go so far as this: even if the Oscars only had 5 Best Picture nominees like they used 2 years ago, and like every other category does, even if there was only 5 spots, I would still say it's an overreaction that you don't think Project Hail Mary, which to me is still the best movie of the year. That's just my own opinion, but I think it would still get in there even if it was only 5. And as Rob said, there are 10. There are literally 10 spots. So with 10, let's put it this way. If Project Hail Mary does not get a Best Picture nomination with 10 spots, and the Academy deems that there are 10 films better than Project Hail Mary, this will be the greatest year in films ever. This will be, if there are 10 movies that are better than Project Hail Mary this year, then this will be the best movie year ever. Chris, what do you think? Overreaction or not?
Yeah, definite overreaction. It's like you said, if we do get 10 movies that even outbeat what Project Hail Mary did, well, wow, that's going to be one for the books in terms of cinema for what we've had. So I think it's definitely getting a nomination.
Yeah. All right. Now I think we've lost Rob. Rob has disappeared. They might have cut the power to his internet too, but it's okay. We will go on and endeavor without him for now until he maybe jumps back in.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, is he back now? Oh, that's not him. That's not him either. No, he's not. I don't see him yet. Oh, wait a minute. Did he jump back into the?
Yeah.
I might have to reinsert him back into the room here. Give me one second. Let me see if I can pop him. That's the joys of doing everything live.
Very good.
Okay, give me 1 second here. I will see if I can get Rob back into our world. Let's see if this worked. Rob, are you now back in our world?
Welcome to our world.
Okay. Is that a shower head? Oh no, it's your phone connected to a cable. I literally thought you were holding a shower head.
No, I have a alternate power source and it kicked in. It went to it, so it shut off everything and came back on. I'm like, I'm sorry about this.
All right. Well, with all that down, guys, let's now move on to the next issue here, shall we? And that is this. Now, they announced as a part of like Avengers Doomsday coming out and stuff like that they would be re-releasing Avengers Endgame because money. So they're going to put it back out. And, there's an outside chance that it could actually leapfrog Avatar and maybe become the highest grossing film of all time, except it can't. And the reason that it can't is because it's literally going to have a new title. We have now discovered that, according to the reporting, that Avengers Endgame, the re-release, Avengers Endgame, is now going to have the title Avengers Endgame Encore. Avengers Endgame Encore is now going to be the official title of the re-release, and 3 other little bits of info about it. According to Report and Deadline, it is going to have brand new stuff put into the beginning of the film. It's going to have some new footage put into the main body of the film. And as a lot of people suggested and thought for a long time, that they're going to have a new post-credit scene at the end of the film. So a new intro, new footage in the body. They didn't say whether it's going to be 30 seconds of new footage, 5 minutes of new footage, whatever, plus a new button at the end with the official title, Avengers Endgame Encore is going to be the name of the film, which I believe, and I could be mistaken about this, but I believe that does disqualify it from having its box office tallied on to the box office of Avengers Endgame. I'm not really sure if it does or not. Somebody I'm sure can correct me on that. Oh, that looks even better, Rob.
There we
It
go.
looks- do you remember the movies? Do you remember the movie Star
Interrogated.
Chamber? Do you remember Star Chamber?
I do, with Michael Douglas.
Yeah, that's right. You're like
Peter Hyams, right?
judge in the Star Chamber. So
Guilty.
listen, I'm not one to generally want to run back to the theater to watch these clear cash grab re-releases. Like when it's a movie that hasn't been in theater in 25 years. Yeah, that's really interesting to me. But I would be lying to you guys if building up to Doomsday with a new intro, with some new footage in the middle, with a new little button on the end, which I'm sure we don't need to see in order to see Doomsday, but I got to admit, I'm probably going to run out to the theater to go see this one. So what's that, Jonathan?
Can you imagine if this is not the lowest earning Avengers movie?
Oh my God. Because this one's going to make, you know what? And listen, I can say this. I think this probably makes $100 million when it gets re-released in theaters. I think this will make $100 million, not opening weekend, but I mean, I think this will make $100 million opening weekend. So Chris, let me ask you.
Yes.
What do you think about the new title, all that kind of stuff? And which thing do you find most interesting? A new intro, them inserting some never before seen footage within the film itself, or the idea of a new post-credit button? What do you think about this?
So yeah, like I said, I actually would be interested to watch this just for all the same reasons. They're doing enough in there to get me to make the ticket worth it. Something in the intro, the footage, and the stinger at the end. The title is interesting, especially if it disqualifies it from being added on, like you were mentioning there. But I think the biggest part of the story here, and it's in the article, is this is their test ramp up. They're getting their audience familiar with their new label, the Infinity Vision.
That's
Because,
right. Yep.
They're going to have a website so that you know specifically which theater to go to get the best premium, which I think we all know is just not really anything, but they have a standard set. But to me, it just reads as, do they pay? You have to pay more for an average ticket. It's Infinity Vision. There you go. Because they're not getting those IMAX screenings, right? So to me, I wonder if that's more the gameplay here, is just getting audiences familiar with this label, figuring out which theaters nearby have it. So then when it's Doomsday time, you make sure you buy that premium format.
Rob, what's standing out to you most of all, aside from utter darkness? Is it the intro? Is it new footage? Is it a new button? And do you think, like, I'm thinking this thing can make like $100 million. Do you think I'm off on that? What do you think?
No, I don't. And I'll tell you, when we learned what we know, I was like, this movie it's going to be over. Let's just call it, on paper, this movie's over 3 hours long.
Right.
And
yeah.
Probably a lot longer than 3 hours. And there are things that, let's call it, certain things that happen at the beginning of this movie. Like, I don't even know what I can say, but I could see them, because the thing is, how the movie ends, with Captain America and Peggy Carter dancing in their house.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Careful. Careful.
Let's just say I could see more of that domestic bliss put into the end of this movie, because it would be time that they need in Doomsday that they could figure out a way. I mean, I could definitely see how they could do that. And when they announced an Endgame re-release, I was like, I bet they're going to do that, because there's no effing way. I mean, I have no knowledge of how long a finished cut of Doomsday would be. But if I were to go out on a limb, I'm going to bet it's 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Wow.
I'm going to
See,
bet it's.
I don't
in-
think they're going to add that much to it. I think they'll
Well,
probably. I think at most they'll probably put in like maybe 5 minutes.
No. I mean, did I say Endgame? I meant Doomsday.
Oh,
I
okay.
meant-
I
meant
might
if-
have misheard
yeah,
you.
I'm
That
sorry.
might have been
I'm
me.
sorry.
Yeah.
No, I was wrong. I said Endgame. I think Avengers Doomsday is going to be 3 hours and 15 minutes. And I know nothing about how long it's going to be, but based on previous information that I was in possession of, and I think that they've moved some of the beginning of the movie into this Endgame encore. And I wouldn't be surprised if one of those certain things that happens at the beginning of Doomsday has been also moved into the post-credit scene of Endgame. And I'm not going to say what there's a scene that I would be willing. I want to go on to Kalshi right now and bet on it, but it's not up to bet on because I would,
Yeah.
maybe I'll just make my own category to bet on in Kalshi. Can
There
you
you
do
go.
that and put it up?
No, I
don't
don't think
know.
so. But
Bummer.
guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Avengers Endgame's re-release now has a new title. It's Avengers Endgame Encore. Apparently there's going to be new intro, some new footage in the movie. We don't know how much, and a new post-credit scene as well. What part is exciting to you, if any of it? And are you planning to go out to the theater to see this? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? Supergirl is now out and in theaters. And I went to go see it last night. I put up my out-of-theater reaction to it. So you guys who have seen that probably already know what I thought about the movie. We're going to review it here, and I am going to warn you in advance that while one of the most, how do I put this, lacking scripts that I've seen turn into a movie in a while, this movie doesn't have a lot of plot and there's not a lot to spoil, but I may be going into some spoiler stuff here. Believe me when I tell you, it really won't affect your viewing of the movie, but I do want to give you the heads up that this review will have some spoilers in it. So if you don't want to hear any, I'm not going to go, none of us here are going to go through beat by beat the movie, but I mean, there are going to be a couple spoilers in here. I do want to make you aware of that. And if you don't want to hear any spoilers at all, now's a good time for you to check out of the show. But I just did want to give you that kind of a heads up. So off I went to go see Supergirl. And like I did in my out of theater reaction, I will start off by saying the things I liked about it. The first thing I have to mention, I did touch on this in my out of theater reaction. I already thought Millie Alcock was a great casting for it when they announced her. I thought that even more so when I saw her at the end of Superman. And I believe it now more than ever. She's great for the character. She's a great choice for the character. I think, given better material, that as the DCU moves forward, if James Gunn doesn't leave like I think he will, a lot of caveats there. She is an amazing casting. Not quite on the same level as David Cornsweet for Superman, but she is a perfect person to pick to play this character. Absolutely, that stood out to me the most. The next thing that I thought was really good about the movie is, again, even though he's not in a lot of it, David Cornsweet as Superman. Chris, you kind of alluded to this earlier, that every minute he's on screen in the movie, you just smile. Like, he is just so joyous as Superman that I couldn't help but grin every time he was on screen. Another thing I really quite liked about the movie was there's a little, as you see in the trailers, there's a bit of backstory to Kara's origin with the city of Argo and things like that from Krypton. And I thought the background stuff they did on Argo was really quite interesting. And I enjoyed that part. It only took up about, I don't know, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, about 6 minutes of screen time altogether.
Yeah, not that much.
Yeah, it didn't take up much of the screen time there. But that whole part of the movie, I thought was a winning formula. I thought that was done really quite well. And I'm pretty sure all the credits were spelled correctly. Yeah, that's the
Oh man.
That's the last positive I
Man.
have to say about it. So there are pros. And as I said in my out of theater reaction, I think this movie is a little bit better than terrible. Like, I don't think the movie overall is completely terrible. It's not Morbius. It's not Madam Web. It's not Kraven the Hunter. It's better than all of those. But it is still decidedly a bad film to me. And you guys know I am not a DC hater. I am the opposite of a James Gunn hater. I have been cheering for this movie. I got a little apprehensive about it, admittedly, at CinemaCon when they gave us the presentation for it. And I was like, this doesn't look as good as I was hoping it would look. And that's when I got a little bit nervous about it. But I've been hoping for the best, believing the best, wanting this movie to be great. You guys know this. If you guys watch my show, you know I have been. But this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen made by a great director. Because make no mistake about it, Craig Gillespie is a great director. Whether you're talking about Lars and the Real Girl, or you're talking about the Academy Award nominated film I, Tonya, or you're talking about his great turn with Cruella, or you're talking about one of the most underappreciated films of the last bunch of years called Dumb Money, he is a great director. Not every movie he's made is great, but this is one of the worst films I've seen done by a great director. I've seen a lot of worse movies, but by lesser directors. This movie, Chris, I don't know what you're going to think about this.
Mhm.
It felt incoherent. It felt disjointed.
Yes, I agree on that.
It felt like there was no flow to the story. One of the big things I said, and I've been really dying to ask somebody else who's seen the movie this. You guys know from the trailers that Crypto gets poisoned. And one of the big motivating things in the entire movie is that Kara's going to try to get the antidote to save Crypto. The problem was
I know what you're
Crypto
gonna say.
gets poisoned really early.
Before you see the connection.
Exactly. And then later in the movie, they do flashbacks to show the bond and the connection between
Big
Kara
mistake.
and
Yeah.
Crypto. Huge, juvenile, beginner level mistake. Like
Yeah.
they first, like, we're supposed to buy into, we're supposed to feel this when Crypto gets poisoned, right? But, and I'm sure we do to a degree because we already know Crypto from Superman, but
Right.
Yeah.
they do that first and then later set up why it's so important to Kara and their bond. And it sort of, it robbed the movie of that big emotional hook because they didn't get us invested in their relationship before Crypto gets poisoned.
Yeah.
And to me, that was a bad thing. And I'll say this too. This movie, I will go down always remembering it as Craig Gillespie trying to do a bad James Gunn impersonation.
Yeah.
Because
I agree.
I felt like he stepped in there and tried to impress James Gunn by making it very James
Yeah.
Gunn-like. And that was a mistake. And Daddy wasn't there anyway because he's off making Man of Tomorrow, which is something else I'll complain about in a second. And the music choices, I thought were terrible.
Yeah.
Like this
The needle drops are not good. It really makes you
No.
appreciate James Gunn and how he pulls it off.
And
He
can I
makes it look
ask a
so
question?
easy.
Let me ask this question, Chris. Why, in some dive bar in a far end of the galaxy, is a lounge singer singing classic 80s Earth songs?
No.
That is true.
I'm
I
like,
did-
what the hell is this?
That is so true.
It's so bad. And guys, I gave you the heads up, but these are the two little spoilers I'm going to give. One isn't important. One kind of is important, but okay. This is not a problem throughout the whole film, but it represents the small choices that were all wrong. At one point you see in the trailers, Clem of the Yellow Hills. Is it Clem? Cleft?
Creme.
Cletus?
Creme.
Yeah.
Fuck boy. That's what he is. So kneeling down in front of Kara and going, and this is a good line. This is a good line. This is the best line in the movie. Your eyes are beautiful when you cry. Much pain. It's a good line. That's a
It
good line. Only good line in the movie. But it's a very good line. But in that, you see there's like the black lines in her neck, which is the common comic book visual of somebody being poisoned or whatever. I saw a lot of people online well before the movie came out guess that somehow she's in the presence of kryptonite. Okay, so this is a minor spoiler, but the thing that leads to that moment when he says, your eyes are beautiful and you cry, he shoots her with kryptonite darts.
That's mean.
Why does he have kryptonite darts?
Yeah, does it?
The way the universe is set up,
There's only
what?
2 Kryptonians out there
that they don't even know about.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, I've been saving these for you.
Yep,
What
he
the
said that.
fuck do you mean you've been saving? How does that make any sense
Yeah.
at all? And how
I-
did you just
yeah.
magically come up with kryptonite darts? And it was just so utterly preposterous.
Yeah.
And that leads, this is the big spoiler, guys, okay? This is the big spoiler. It's not going to surprise any of you. All of you guessed this at the ending anyway, but I'm just warning you, if you want to jump away now, jump away now. But Chris, and I refer to Chris Rock because I know you haven't seen Supergirl. You're seeing it tonight, correct?
Me?
Yeah, you're seeing Supergirl
Yeah, I'm
today.
seeing it in IMAX at 4. Thanks for the
Okay,
spoiler.
So I'm about to give you a big spoiler at the end here. So the whole thing is, Kara, Supergirl, keeps trying to convince Rufy, the little girl with the sword, that, oh, no, you can't kill fuckboy Cletus because it'll ruin you. It'll ruin you for the rest of your life. You'll never get over it. It'll damage you and destroy who you are. And oh, it'll be so terrible. No, you can't kill him.
Is he from Arkansas?
And then at the end, Supergirl, Rufy's got the sword to him and she goes, no, you can't do it. It'll destroy who you are. It'll take away all your memories and you'll never have peace and blah, blah, blah. Just walk away, Rufy, walk away. So we know, okay, so Supergirl's going to kill him. So sure enough, Supergirl kills him, right? But here's the part that kills me. After spending the movie verbal vomiting onto Rufy, oh no, this will destroy who you are. You'll never be happy. You'll never have peace. Throughout the whole movie of Supergirl is super troubled. She's discontented. She has no peace. She's just like her life. She's just a mess, right?
Sounds like she works at Hot Topic.
He just described everybody that works on a topic. But then Chris, she kills him at the end, right?
Yeah.
And then goes home to Earth and is talking with Superman. And she is the most at peace and content and happy and now has her life together and now understands what she wants to do with her life as the result of killing the guy that she spent the whole movie telling Rufy, oh no, it'll destroy who you are, when killing him is what actually fixes all of her problems. It was so badly contrived, so badly executed. And again, the dialogue is horrible throughout the movie, other than your eyes are beautiful when you cry. That's a great line. I'll never take that away from it. It had all the hallmarks of a first-time screenwriter, at least a first-time screenwriter for a major motion picture. You shouldn't do first times on tentpoles. Lobo was good, but even with Lobo, they went a little bit too hammy at times. So I walked out very disappointed in the film. Very disappointed in the film. And look, I'm a DC fan. I am cheering for the DCU. I'm a big James Gunn supporter. But James Gunn has to decide whether he wants to direct movies or be the CEO of the company. Because here's a little fact. Rob, did you know that out of all the major sport leagues, NFL, NHL, NBL, NBA, not one in any of the leagues, not one team has a person who's both the coach and the general manager.
I did not know that.
There used to be, but they realized you can't, because you can't do both jobs properly. You got to pick a job because both jobs are full-time jobs. And James Gunn's got to decide whether he wants to direct all of the DC stuff or whether he's going to be the CEO, because he can't do both. Anyway, Chris, that's me. I've gone on long enough about that. You've seen the movie yourself.
Yes.
You and
Yes,
I
I
have not talked about this.
No.
What did you think of Supergirl?
I, like you, came out disappointed. I don't think this movie made me scared for the future of DC. I'm still super excited for Man of Tomorrow, and even like
Me too.
Millie Alcock, I think she's great in the role, and her herself as the character, I want to see more of. And I'm excited what she'll do in Man of Tomorrow because James Gunn's talked about he's already filmed some scenes with her, so that'll be cool. But this movie, yeah, it really came off so average to me. I'm not so much on you where I thought it was like awful or bad. I agree on your sentiment about a great director with a bad movie with Craig Gillespie. But it's in that middle ground where it's almost just as bad as in it was just average. There's nothing that exciting to talk about, and equally not even that much really to really fixate on the negatives. It's just kind of flowing through the motions, and that I think was the biggest problem I had. Is it's adapting great source material, but it's just
Great source material.
but it's just doing the like hitting the check marks of it. It's like, okay, this girl's family has to die. Okay, we did that. She has to meet Supergirl and go on the adventure. Okay, we did that. Like, you're right. The flow isn't there. The editing choices of where certain scenes come about just could have impacted more. I so agree on the arc with Supergirl and that finale. I have no problem with her killing the villain at the end.
Neither.
Like,
Me neither.
that could work. But it did not work with the arc they were setting up with what they were trying to convey with Ruthie. And to me, even with her backstory, they don't do enough to suggest why she would be so broken. Like, I get you lost your family and planet, but that line she says about, I see the truth in people, no one in her life has wronged her. No one has.
That's a great point.
She didn't have like her own
Rob.
creme or the Krypton. Like, I thought when because they made it seem in the trailer like, Krypton, that chunk is left, and then maybe the society collapsed in itself and people started their true colors came out when like food ran low or something else. When you get the actual story, it's like it's no one's fault. Like, there's nobody hurt you, nobody made you feel that way where you like build this wall and hate people. Like, if anything, your family was great.
Yeah,
So
you
it's
were
like,
loved.
where's this disdain for people coming from when even when she meets Clark, he's nothing but nice to her. So it's definitely, there was some elements that I just felt like could have been better fleshed out, or is there more to it? Maybe that was left on the editing room floor. I don't know, but I agree with my disappointment. And man, James Gunn I understand with him. He talks a big game about, no, our scripts are finished. Our scripts are great. We're not doing it like Marvel. And I'm just like, oh, man, this is the same writer who's doing Wonder Woman. I'm a little worried now.
I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that's going to change.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess that. And here's the other thing. With some comic book movies that are disappointing, quite often one of the positives we can fall back on is, okay, maybe overall the movie wasn't great, but it had some really good action.
Mm-hmm.
Supergirl does not have good action.
Pretty generic and muddy.
Oh, that's a great word for it. Muddy. A lot of the action just felt muddy, poorly shot. There's a couple of moments in the movie that I appreciated that are like, I always appreciate this in superhero movies when there are these, and you know what I'm talking about, Rob, when there are these moments where what I call the superhero manifests. It's like where the superhero has a moment where it's like, oh God, everybody else here is totally screwed because now this hero is about to go full blown badass and kick everybody's asses. And there are a couple of those moments in Supergirl that got an emotional response out of me. And I felt pretty good, but just once the moment happens and they get into the action, it's like, this is some pretty lame action. And they should have had much better action for Lobo. They should have had much better things. And you know what other mistake they made? They've said Lobo's name once. If you're trying to establish this new character for a wider universe, they say his name once, like, oh, that's Lobo. And his name is never said again in the entire movie. So, yeah. Anyway, Rob, I hope we're not raining on your hope too much.
No, I just keep thinking that they should add fuckboy Cletus to the Jackass crew.
I think
there you go. His son can be putting all those metal things on his head.
Yeah, I mean, no, but look, this is what I find. Look, maybe the movie will make money. Maybe it'll make $500 million or something. But what I find sad about this and why I find the responses so disheartening is, to be honest, I expect a lot more from this movie. And I knew we were in trouble when they went through 3 composers. Now, I have no behind the scenes knowledge, but it seems to me that somebody lost confidence in this movie in the editorial phase. And I'm willing to bet, from what I understand, the Kryptonian sequence comes in the middle of the movie, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll bet that wasn't the case. I'll bet you that they decided to restructure the film because they looked at that when they had the Kryptonian sequence come up first. That probably was, they thought this is the strongest part of this movie.
Mhm.
And because it gave you the backstory of Kara and all that, they're like, no, we'll use this and we'll restructure the whole movie, and they'll put it in the middle of the movie. And by then, everybody's second guessing what's supposed to be happening, and they probably lost confidence. And the fact that they had 3 different composers, I'll tell you why they had 3 different composers. They were trying to use the music to bridge what the movie lacked and create the emotional connection with the audience. And they were unsatisfied with that, because 3 different composers, as everyone knows, is very unique. And I think the failure of this movie really disappoints me from a creative standpoint, because
By the
this
way,
should not have happened as their
yeah.
second film out of the gate. This movie should have ruled. There's no reason why this movie didn't kill.
I do want to touch on something that one of our viewers, Genghis, just wrote. He said, if this is the worst of the DCU, I think we'll be okay. I agree with that. Like, again, this is not, I don't want to come across as saying like this is Madam Web level bad. It's not.
Yeah.
This is better than Madam Web, and it's better than Morbius, and it's better than Kraven Hunter. And if this is the worst they do, yes, the DCEU will be fine. But to your point, Rob, like, Superman was so good. Superman was so good that it's just like, by comparison, it's like stepping out of a hot tub into an ice bath. It's like my expectations were much higher. It should have been better than this.
Yeah.
Especially when you got the casting right and you've got those elements there. And hey, listen, as bad as I think the movie is, or let me rephrase that, as disappointed as I am in the movie, hey, I'm looking forward to seeing more of David Cornsweet and Millie Alcock on screen together. I totally am.
Agree.
Like you said, Chris, I'm really looking forward to seeing Man of Tomorrow, and what with those characters interacting together. So there are some positives to glean out of it. It's just overall, this damn thing should have been better. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Did you have a chance? I know there were screenings all over the country last night. Did you have a chance to see Supergirl already? If so, what did you think about it? And you know what, guys? The most beautiful thing about movies is the pure subjectivity of them. Just because I didn't like it doesn't mean you won't. And if you did enjoy it, I love hearing it. Write to me in the comments and let me know that you liked it and why you liked it. I would love to hear your point of view on it. Anyway, that will wrap that up. And guys, that'll do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. We went a little bit overtime here. Thank you so much for being here and making our little show part of your day. Big special thank you to the thousands of you guys in the live chat, making this show a part of your day. We really appreciate it. Once again, no open super chats today because I am leaving right now to go to play in the World Series of Poker. So I got to do that. But don't worry, super chats will be returning. And by the way, guys, I'd be remiss if I didn't say as a tail end to that whole discussion about Supergirl that I'm still thinking Lanterns is going to be pretty awesome.
I'm excited for that. Very excited.
I'm still thinking Clayface is going to be awesome. So yeah. I'm still holding out for that, but we'll see where they go. Anyway, big thanks, of course, to the Dark Man himself, the mysterious, the moody Robert Meyer.
I'm just trying to live up to my chaos coordination. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, nobody understood that I can't have my air conditioning on in here and my car plugged in at the same time. So somebody.
Oh, blue fuse. Well, fortunately,
that's why I have to go up to the house to switch the breaker.
Got it. Well, I'm glad you had your phone there too to cast some light. And again,
I feel I should do like Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's what it looked like. Huge thank you. What a great time it's had having Chris here from 3C Films. Chris, thank you so much for being here. Please tell me I'll put you on the spot and ask you in front of everybody. Please tell me you'll come back and do this again.
Definitely. If you will have me, I will show up, John. It's really an honor to be here, and it's so fun to be part of this. Thank you guys for all being so nice and the laughs, and I hope that gets fixed for you, Rob.
Well, awesome.
I can fix it right now.
All right, guys, and a big thank you to all the rest of you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, all that kind of stuff. And most importantly, we want to hear from you down in the comments. Make sure you go to leave some thoughts there. Thanks again to everybody in the live chat. Thank you to all of you. My name's John Campea, and until next time, my friends, bye-bye.